Howdy folks, hope you all had a good weekend, and welcome to another episode of Mingles with Jingles. So, Black Friday weekend, Cyber Monday and Black Friday week. Have you found any bargains? Yeah, you think so? Are you sure? What's that? You saw this thing on Amazon, and it was on a 40% discount. Are you absolutely sure about that? Because it is absolutely shameless, the shit that they pull on us every year at this time of year. Let me give you an example of exactly the sort of thing I was talking about. So I'm looking at a laundry basket. Look, don't judge me, I'm in my 50s. I'm looking at, somehow I found myself on Amazon over Black Friday weekend looking at a laundry basket. A laundry basket that was being sold, I'm not making this up, for £63.98, which is an outrageous amount of money for a laundry basket. Now you might be thinking, well, hang on, wasn't that the price before the Black Friday discount? No, that was the price after the 44% Black Friday discount. At some point, they were charging nearly £100 for a laundry basket. It didn't have a built-in TV or Wi-Fi or anything. It's just a laundry basket. So I thought, well, this bears further investigation. Now, fortunately, and if you don't have something like this, I thoroughly recommend you install it. But I have a browser extension for Google Chrome that tracks the price history of things on Amazon. So I scroll down at the bottom of the listing for this outrageously expensive laundry basket and found out that, sure enough, Monday the 13th of October, this thing was on sale for basically £80. But the very next day, on Tuesday, the 14th of October, it suddenly went on sale for basically £100 for exactly one day. And then it went back down to the original price. So there's your 44% discount. For one day in October, this thing was effectively on sale for £100. And then over the Black Friday weekend, it's on sale for £63. There's your 44% discount. But wait, hang on, that's the middle of October. That was months ago. Well, okay, not months, but it was a month and a half ago. I mean, surely aren't there laws that say if you want to say that something's on sale, it has to have been available at the higher price, like for a period substantially sooner before the sale than that? Well, once again, if you check the price tracker, you'll see exactly what they did. So it has always been on sale for £63, and then in the middle of October, for one day, they hike the price up to £100, and then they drop it back down to £63. And then the day before the Black Friday sale, just for the one day, they put the price up to £80. And then, for Black Friday, back down to the regular price of £63, which is still stupidly expensive for what it is. It's just a laundry basket. But were then able to claim that this was now actually at a 44% discount. Not at a 44% discount from the price that it was the day before Black Friday. It was on sale for £80 the day before, but the exact same price that it was on sale for the day before Black Friday. And a 44% discount from the price that they artificially hiked it up to in the middle of October. So they're putting the thing on sale for the same price it's always been and claiming that you're getting it at a 44% discount. And you'll never guess what? It's Amazon's #1 bestseller in laundry bins. With, over 7,000 bought and paid for 5-star reviews. Well, not unbelievable. Completely believable, unfortunately. That's the sad state of the world in which we live. So if you are looking around for any supposed bargains and massive discounts over the Black Friday week, you really, really do need to check the price history before you go anywhere near the Pay Now button. It's not the only scam that they pull as well. You know, all these TVs that you see people fighting over in the Black Friday sales that are going for like actually are going for massive discounts. They do look like absolute bargains. Huge TVs going for like $100, $150, $200. Yeah. Do you know the manufacturers actually build special Black Friday sale only versions of what you think are quality televisions? They're not. They're not quality at all. They are specifically made for the Black Friday sales using the cheapest possible components with the most basic stripped down feature list. What you're actually buying, what you're actually fighting with people in the store over is a piece of absolute garbage that only looks like an expensive television. And once you get it home, you'll be lucky if it lasts a year before something goes wrong with it. And this is literally just the tip of the iceberg here. You wouldn't believe the kind of scams that the retailers and the manufacturers perpetrate on you at this time of year, every year. You know what the best thing you can do is? Just keep your money in your pocket. Do not spend money over the Black Friday weekend, because most of the bargains that they think you're getting are not bargains at all. Save your money until January, after the Christmas sales, when the retailers have a load of stock that they have to get rid of because they didn't sell it at Christmas. That's when you get the actual bargains. Or if you've got money burning a hole in your pocket and you absolutely have to spend money this week. I mean, if there's something that you need and you're hoping to find a bargain over the Black Friday week, at the very least, install a price history tracker into your browser before you go anywhere near a website like Amazon. Trust me, you'll thank me later. In other news, have you seen World of Tanks advert for their Holiday Operations 2025 event? I have no idea what they're smoking this time. This time they've got Benedict Cumberbatch, you know, Doctor Strange, as their holiday ambassador. And if you've seen the advert, I mean, it's a good advert, but it's got nothing to do with Christmas. It's got basically nothing to do with World of Tanks. I don't get the connection with either thing. And yet, here I am talking about it, so it obviously worked. This year's Holiday Ops in World of Tanks starts on the 5th of December, so this week. And it promises, and I'm quoting here, a magical winter adventure filled with festive missions, dazzling rewards, and holiday surprises. Because, you know, of course it does. And you'll actually get missions from Benedict Cumberbatch in-game, and you will be able to earn him as a fully voiced tank commander. I mean, this obviously isn't the first time we've had this kind of celebrity collaboration and endorsement. We've had the usual run of Hollywood action stars doing celebrity endorsements and in-game voices and stuff in World of Tanks. We've had Arnold Schwarzenegger, we've had, what's his name, Dolph Lundgren, we've had Sabaton. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And, I mean, there's usually a connection there. Arnold Schwarzenegger, for example, actually has his own tank. There was a YouTube thing where he would get into his tank and, like, will it crush? And he would drive it over things like cars, you name it. Could he crush it in his tank? I see the connection. Dolph Lundgren? Well, he's Dolph Lundgren. I mean, you know, fine. Whatever. Sabaton, you know, they're all about warfare. They sing songs about that sort of thing. Benedict Cumberbatch. Try though I might, I do not see the connection. And it's as if World of Tanks doesn't really see the connection either, because the trailer that they have for Benedict Cumberbatch's 2025 Holiday Ops in World of Tanks basically has nothing to do with Christmas, and it has even less to do with tanks. But, like I said, clearly it works, because here I am talking about it. So, well played, World of Tanks. Well played. Oh, while we're on the subject of Christmas, it's that time of year again, isn't it? Where I threaten to take 2 weeks off and then famously still put videos up every other day. Because I get bored really, really easily. I do, however, at least like the idea of having an option of taking 2 weeks off over Christmas and New Year. Even though we all know I'm never going to take an actual 2 weeks off. But I like the pressure is off for me to do a video every day and do a specific video on a specific day. I can just upload whatever I want, or not at all. Let's see how long I can last this year. I think I actually set a new record last year. I said, right, I'm taking my 2 weeks off. And I think, did I last a day? Did I even last a day before I put a video up? I can't remember. I know I didn't last long. I can't remember exactly how long I lasted, but I do clearly remember people saying, wow, Jingles, this is a new low even for you. So I don't know how long I'm going to last this year, but let's say I'm going to take a break in spirit, if not in reality. And speaking of which, I should probably actually give you the dates. So let me just quickly flash up the calendar. And I think I'm going to be back on the 5th of January next year. So we'll be opening off things. That's Monday the 5th of January. We'll be doing that with the first Mingles with Jingles of 2026. And the last video you can expect to see from me is going to be, let's say, Saturday the 20th. So that's going to probably, unless I finish the game by then, and let's face it, probably not, probably going to be a Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 video on Saturday the 20th of December, and then I'll be back on Monday the 5th of January. How many videos do actually end up seeing the light of day between the 20th of December and the 5th of January is, of course, entirely open to speculation. But I think we all know it's going to be more than some, but maybe slightly less than many. Either way, you know that, I mean, let's face it, this is not our first Christmas rodeo, is it? You know I'm going to be doing something. The only thing I can absolutely guarantee is that it's not going to be World of Tanks or World of Warships. I mean, I do those things 3 times a week. If I'm being honest, my taking 2 weeks off over Christmas and New Year isn't I mean, it is me taking 2 weeks off from YouTube, but it's also me taking 2 weeks off from World of Tanks and World of Warships. So whatever I do, it's almost certainly going to be indie games. And I got to admit, in fact, here we go, question time. When was the last time you can remember actually getting excited by the news of an upcoming AAA game title release? I'll tell you what, I'll give you Battlefield 6. I mean, I haven't played it myself, it's not really my sort of thing. But all of the news I've been hearing about it has been positive. Even the single-player campaign doesn't completely suck, which is, well, okay, not a first, but extremely rare for a Battlefield game. I'm not saying that there hasn't been any negative news around the release and launch of Battlefield 6. I'm just saying I haven't heard of it. I'm sure there are things about it that some people aren't happy with, but let's just say the signal-to-noise ratio is definitely in favour of positive reviews for the game. So I'll give you Battlefield 6. How about Black Ops 7? It's one of the worst reviewed games in history. Never mind one of the worst reviewed Call of Duty games. Assassin's Creed Shadows, dog shit. Skull and Bones, dog shit. Borderlands 4, could have been at the very least good, certainly better than Borderlands 3, let down by horrendously bad optimization, so dog shit. Until I sat down to record this, I would have quite happily been able to say there wasn't a single AAA game coming out that I was even remotely looking forward to. And then, of course, I heard the news that they have confirmed they're doing Cyberpunk 2. So aside from that, nothing. Just an unrelenting series of overhyped and under-delivering pieces of... Oh, and overpriced as well. Actually, I'm going to get sidetracked here, but I will get back to this subject. Speaking of overpriced, you know why the price of games keeps... Oh, well... Why they keep trying to increase the base price of games. They keep trying to normalise ever more exorbitant prices. The average price of a game is $60, and then it's $70, and they're trying to make it $80. And if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile, and they'll make it $100. And it's got nothing to do with the cost of game development. Aside from a tiny percentage of big-budget AAA titles that cost hundreds of millions of dollars to make, which represent a tiny fraction of the actual numbers of games that get sold every year. The vast majority of games that sell do not sell for $80. They sell for $30 or less on Steam. They're all indie titles, and these are the games that people are actually playing in comparison to Borderlands 4 or Call of Duty Black Ops 7. The reason why AAA publishers are actually trying to normalise these increasingly exorbitant asking prices for their games. It's because I read an interview, and I do apologise in advance for my shitty journalism here, but I remember reading it and at the time thinking, wow, I need to make a note of this, and then never did. So I can't remember the name of the executive who gave this interview or which publisher he represented. But what it boiled down to was this. There are only a certain number of gamers in the world that you can sell games to. And over the last 5 years or so, the publishers have basically tapped out that market. There are no more people available for them to sell games to. They have reached market saturation. I mean, I am simplifying a little here, but this is the broad gist of what he was saying. And so bearing in mind that they're not actually able to bring in new customers, how do you increase your profits? Because you have to increase your profits. You have to constantly show growth to your shareholders, otherwise you will lose your jobs. So since you can't bring in more customers, what you then have to do is squeeze the customers that you have for every possible cent that they can give you. And this isn't me interpreting. This is not me reading between the lines of what he said. This is actually what he said. So prices aren't going up, and games aren't being stuffed full of more and more microtransactions and season passes and gacha mechanics in full-price games, the kind of thing that you would normally expect to see in a fucking mobile game. This isn't happening because development costs are going up and they have to make a profit somehow. If anything, development costs are going down. Distribution is digital now. They don't have to own warehouses or fleets of delivery vans or pay warehouse staff or print CDs. All of those costs went away. And don't tell me increased wages and cost of living is forcing prices up. You can't claim that at the same time as you're replacing thousands of people with AI. Prices are increasing because they've reached the limit of the number of individual wallets that they can actually get their fingers into. And so in order to show growth to their shareholders, they've got to come up with ways of maximizing or increasing the amount of money that they're extracting from the existing wallets. I really do wish I could remember which publisher gave this interview, but it really was a bit of an eye-opener. All of which, I suppose, brings us back to indie games. Because the AAA games industry can fall off a cliff for all I care. I mean, I'd have certain sympathies for the employees who actually work for them, but let's face it, they're all getting replaced by AI as soon as their corporate overlords can justify it, so their jobs are basically history anyway. And unlike the AAA games industry, I do actually get excited about and look forward to the release of upcoming indie titles. I mean, Silk Song, anybody? Baldur's Gate 3, Kingdom Come Deliverance? Well, okay, Baldur's Gate 3, Kingdom Come Deliverance. I mean, they're not exactly indie. I mean, technically you could argue that they are. But they're definitely not AAA. They're barely even AA. And some of the most popular games that I have ever featured on this YouTube channel have been independent titles that you can get on Steam for $20 or less. Games like Choo Choo Charles, games like Subnautica, games like Stray. And, they've been good for a reason, because, I mean, there are so many games. There's something like 25,000 games get published on Steam every year, and the overwhelming majority failed and sink without a trace. They don't even make back their stump money to get onto Steam. But that's fine. I mean, that's the way a capitalist market is supposed to operate. Survival of the fittest. If you're any good, you'll do well. If you're not, tough shit, try again. But the AAA industry has been operating outside of that paradigm for so many years now. Because it doesn't matter how bad the game is. They've got the marketing and advertising to ensure that it's going to sell well regardless. Assassin's Creed Shadows was a pile of shit, but it made a profit. It didn't make the profit Ubisoft wanted, but it did make a profit. The internet is on fire with bad reviews for Call of Duty Black Ops 7, but it made money for Activision. Neither of these games made as much money as their publishers would have liked, but neither of them lost money either. And the reason for that is because I and other YouTubers, other influencers don't actually have the amount of influence that we might like to believe. We can all sit here complaining about how bad the AAA gaming industry is, how we've seen nothing but the death of innovation from AAA over the last 10 years, and how if you want to get something that's actually genuinely good, you need to look at the indie games market. But we're in an echo chamber here. I'm preaching to the choir. You already agree with me. And we represent such a tiny fraction of the games buying public that we're statistically insignificant. And that's why piles of shit like Black Ops 7 continue to make money for Activision. Not as much money as Activision would have liked, but still enough money to keep the lights on and finance more piles of shit like Black Ops 7. Because it doesn't matter what the people who educate themselves about games think, we're such a small minority that we don't make any difference. And before you say it, no, the irony that I'm actually running a AAA game in the background of this video while complaining about what dog shit the AAA games industry is, yeah, the irony's not lost on me. But in my defense, I'll say that this is Ghost of Tsushima. It's a 5-year-old game and it still looks and plays better than most modern games releases. I mean, 5 years isn't... Well, actually, no, 5 years is quite a long time in video gaming, although you wouldn't believe it looking at the graphics of modern games, but that's another rabbit hole we could spend half an hour going down. I'm going to try to stay on topic here. All right, as much as I ever do. But I guess what I'm saying here is, aside from the usual fuck the AAA games industry, what I'm going to be doing over Christmas in the couple of videos that I do put up when I'm supposed to be taking time off is basically, it's almost certainly not going to be World of Tanks or World of Warships, unless I see something spectacular. But it's going to be indie games. And in fact, I'm going to get an early start this week, rather than the usual fare of Mingles with Jingles on Monday. Okay, you're getting that, because here we are. World of Warships on Tuesday, Kingdom Come Deliverance on Wednesday, World of Tanks on Thursday, then World of Warships again on Friday, and so on and so on. This week I'm going to be doing nothing but independent games. I'm going to run that up the flagpole and see who salutes. And I fully understand that the majority of you are here for World of Warships and World of Tanks, and that's fine. And if this announcement means that, well, you'll all just see me next week rather than continuing to stick around for the indie titles that I'm going to be showcasing this week, again, you know, it's your choice. It's your dollar. Your time on YouTube is limited. Spend it wisely. I understand. But I hope the majority of you will stick around for some absolutely fantastic independent titles that I have been trying out. Even if just in demo or early access form over the course of the last couple of weeks, and which I am looking forward to showing you, and maybe expanding on them, depending on how popular they prove to be, over the Christmas period. So that's what you have to look forward to this week, and again, between the 20th of December and the 5th of January, when I take my 2 and a bit weeks off annual Christmas holiday. Hope to see you all for that. Hope you enjoyed today's Mingles with Jingles, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.